Okay, last we looked at the start and end behavior. That we realized there are 4 types. Let's start with the first one. The first of the 4 types being when you have an odd power and it's positive. Odd power and positive means that it's going to start in quadrant 4 down here. It's going to end in quadrant 2 up here. That's going to be positive. So with that in mind, let's do a very simple function. This, by the way, is MathGV. I highly recommend the product. It's free and it's incredibly powerful. Mr. Thiessen's Calculus 30 course, his whole textbook used this to create the graphs, and again, it's free and easy for you to use as well. Highly recommend it. Okay, in this case, we're going to create a line, and the 2x is positive. The x has a power of 1, so we're going to expect it to start in quadrant 4 and end in quadrant 2. There it is. Starts in quadrant 4, ends in quadrant 2. All I'm going to do now, let's make some changes to this. And I'm going to keep the number as positive and change the power to a 3. So the power is still odd. It should, if we've done this right, start in quadrant 4, end in quadrant 2. Shape will be a little different, but there it is. Starts in quadrant 4, ends in quadrant 2. I'll do one more here just to show you. Again, let's make it, say, a 5 here. So we still have a positive leading term and an odd power. It should start in 4, end in 2. And it does. Now, just to get rid of a myth, in case there's any doubt about it, the leading term is considered the term that has the highest power on it. So I could change this around and write something like 3x squared plus 2x to the 5th. The leading term is still this one because it has the highest power. So even let's change this and put a minus sign in front of that one. This still will be considered an odd power and positive. So it should start in 4, end in 2. And you can see it does. Starts in 4, ends in 2. Okay, let's move on to the next ones. Again, the leading term, it doesn't matter where it is in the writing. It's the highest power. So let's go back to something simpler. This time I want a negative. So let's go back to, say, negative 4x plus 3. A negative power, negative and an leading term and an odd power. Now this is going to mean that it doesn't go up like it did in the other ones. It's going to be dropping. It's negative. So it's going to start in quadrant 1 and end in quadrant 3. And there we are. Starts in quadrant 1, ends in quadrant 3. And if you think about this, negative means it's down. It's going to end down. Nobody wants negative sales. Nobody wants a negative stock because it's ending down. So the negative on the leading term will always mean it's ending down. Let's look at another one, similar to what we did before. Still going to keep this as odd. Now it's cubed. Negative leading coefficient, odd power. Should start in 1, end in 3. You see it does. Starts in 1, ends in 3. Let's do another one quickly here. And say make that a 5. And again, let's just put in something else in here just to show another wrinkle in it. It's still an odd odd power, negative leading coefficient, so it should end down, start in 1, and down, and you can see it does. Okay. Now, as you remember from the video before this, odd means 1 is up, 1 is down. That's odd behavior. 1 up, 1 down. Let's look at even behavior now. Okay, wiping this right out, we're going to do something like, say, x squared. It's a positive leading coefficient. Actually, just dump on 4 for the heck of it. Positive leading coefficient and an even. Remember, even means they go up or down together, 2 at a time. That's why they're even. In this case, positive, even, they should both go up. And there it is. Starts in 1, ends in 2. Both up. Let's make some modifications. Positive, even. So, let's say, keeping it even. And I can do anything back here, remember that. As long as the first term, or the leading term, is still even. Leading term is even. Has a power of 4. And you can see, even though this thing shot way off the graph down here, and I can adjust that, but I won't. Starts in 1, comes way down, dips below the screen, and comes back up in 2. Even, both are up, because it's a positive, even function. Let's do one last one here of this type. Change that to a 6. And let's say, okay, even, power, positive, both will be up. And again, you can see, starts up, dips way down, comes back up again. Positive, both are up when it's even. Our last possibility that we talked about is the negative even. So let's again take a simple one here. Plus 4. So that's negative x squared plus 4. Negative even. And you can see both are down. It starts in 3, ends in 4. Both are down. Even means both up or both down. Modify. Change that to a 4. And again, anything I do back here, as long as the power is smaller than a 4, will not change how it ends. Let's make it so. And you can see again, even, negative, both are down. Starts in 3, goes way up off the screen and comes back down. But just to show you, I can bring this thing way down again. There you can see the other end of that. Let's do one last one. But I think by now you got the idea. 6. And because again, the leading term, meaning the one with the highest power, is negative and even, we're going to expect both of these to go down. And there we have it. Starts in 4. Sorry, starts in 3, ends in 4. And we can go back to where we were before. You can see. Okay, that's it for this one. That's how the start and end relate to the actual function.